Hey everybody. I got to get smarter about this. I need to start watching the dadgum audio level on the microphone. I just did an entire broadcast without sound. And since I don't have a lot of people watching these days, I didn't have anybody pop in there and say, "Hey, we can't hear you." All right, this is the good news. I knew how long the last video took. Too long. So I'm going to make this a quick and short video and delete the other one so that those of you that come along can get the quick story. Uh, what is the story? Well, the story is I just got out of the damn hospital. So had a pretty rough run there for 24 hours, and it was an eye-opening experience in a lot of ways. And I take responsibility for getting myself there. Bottom line is, I have not been good about watching my electrolytes and my fluids. Why? A, it's been 97 degrees, and B, I've been exerting myself a lot because I've been feeling better and doing things that I'm so far behind on. I don't think I'll ever get everything done. I'm actually thinking about hiring somebody to help me do things to get caught up. Anyway, just for those of you that haven't seen my other videos, I'm doing a series here on my carnivore experience. This is update 3, and I've been on it 30 days, 31 days today. I've lost 19 pounds as of yesterday morning. Started at 216 and hit 197. Actually, I think I hit 196 yesterday. So I'm 196 and 3/4, so we'll call it 19. But anyway, first 2 weeks, 15, 16 days, pure hell. I went and had a cheat meal, had a pizza from a place that I later discovered. Today I discovered that they use straight soy oil in their pizza crust, which I don't understand because they're a good place. It's a little dive. They're very popular. They have a great pizza, and they're not cheap. So, I know it might cost $1 more for the damn oil in the pizza for a big one, maybe, because olive oil is 5 times the price of soy. But anyway, I was very disappointed to hear that. So we are going to really just cut out, even on a cheat meal, we're going to do it at home. Anyway, I had this cheat meal pizza last week, or 2 weeks ago now, and I was just feeling really bad. The first 2 weeks of this, horrible. And I'm just in a really bad flare. Plus, probably a little bit of keto flu and other factors. But long story short, the next day I woke up, I felt great. I built shelving for 36 totes, and I just had this whole multiple days of just incredible progress on things that I've neglected for a long time, for months, many, many months, including getting my 1949 Chevrolet back on the road after having sat for 11 months on the lift waiting for me to put the rear end back in it. So, matter of fact, I felt so good I started ordering more parts. I've got some missing chrome pieces. I need to do a little bit of work down on the bottom of the rear fender where there's some rust. I got to cut that metal out, and I haven't had any motivation to do anything like that in a very long time. So, all progress that I can pretty well thank Carnivore for, even with the cheap pizza. Now, a little bit later, we had a couple other cheats, and about the first part of this week, we went to because I got the 49 run. Actually, I blame the car. We went to this little place called Tally Ho, which is a drive up. It's been there since the 1950s. And we went in there. We discovered a while back that they will give you a discount for a burger with nothing, just a burger on a plate. So, and they're very good burgers there, actually. So we had a couple of burgers, and we did have an unsweet tea. I put some stevia in it, and we had our burger. And it's our birthday is this week, and I've been feeling a little bit like at this point, a little bit more back pain and stuff, but not too bad. But I was kind of having one of those days, and I said, you know what? It's our birthday this week. We were both just really wanting to cheat, so we got a fried apple pie from this place. It looks like the old McDonald's one's really good. Split it in half. It's just half of a pie. And I said, I want to see what happens, but I bet I'm going to flare. Well, we had the apple pie. Next day, fine. I mean, I didn't really have any appetite or anything. But towards the end of the day, I started feeling my back bother me. And I said, yep, this is going to be probably the canola oil they probably used to fry this crap in, I'm sure. And so for the next 2 days, I was in really not great shape. Not great. So I ended up taking indomethacin 25, which they do help me, but I just don't do very well with indomethacin, basically. It's not the best thing for me to have. So, anyway, the next day, I was still hurting really bad. Like, I couldn't do anything bad. So I took a 50 milligram indomethacin. Felt like crap very quickly. Very jittery, very just... And I noticed my heart was just pounding and pounding. Anytime I would do anything, it would start pounding. So, next day, this was yesterday, I woke up feeling a lot better. My back hurt, but it was very manageable. No need for anything. Maybe I might have taken ibuprofen. A little bit of a headache. Just minor. Yeah, so I think I'll take ibuprofen. I feel better today. I'm going to go and do the work I was going to do yesterday. So I go up to work on my tractor, and I've got a backhoe on it, and I took the backhoe off of it inside of my hot tractor barn with no ventilation. And so I thought, boy, it's hot, man. I'm sweating. And I drove it back to the front to my shop, which has an air conditioner in it. And this is the tractor here if you haven't seen it. So this whole backhoe thing comes off, the 260 part. That's got legs, and you do a couple of things, and it's pretty easy. Pull some pins, and the whole thing comes off. So anyway, long story short, and this is always a long story when I'm doing these. I've got to put these arms on it so I can put my back bush hog on it, not backhoe. And so you have these little arms you have to put on the back, and I don't have any room in my shop at that time, so I had to do it outside. No big deal, I'm in the sun. So I went in the shop, I cooled off a few minutes, I got the arms, shoved them under the door so I wouldn't have to go back out in the heat. And after, 5-10 minutes of playing on the phone, I said, all right, I'm going to put the dang bush hog back on it, and I'm going to go to town, And literally all I was going to do was park it in the barn and leave it and go home. Well, I had a few things to do in the shop after that, unrelated to the tractor, but I had no big day planned. I was going to go back to the house and take care of some other work. So I go back out there, I squat down, I'm putting these arms on the back of this thing. This is kind of what it would look like with the bush hog on it. But these arms that come from the back of the tractor to that, they're pretty heavy, so I had to lift those up and put them on, hold them up. So I was exerting myself a little bit. And after I put the arms on it, I stood up and I was fine. I didn't even have that lightheaded feeling I've been dealing with. I went back inside the shop and, thought I'd cool off in the air conditioning. And as soon as I walked in the shop, I noticed I had this squiggly line in my vision. Like when you look at something that's really bright and then it kind of persists, like a reflection of the sun kind of hitting your eyes and you go into a dark room. And I thought, man, I don't remember looking anything like that. But I kept thinking, was there something on the tractor shining that the sun reflected off of? And so then I look at my phone and I can't read the words. The words are like, it's almost like the mesh of my vision is like pulling together where that line is at. So, if I saw a word like separate, it would be serrate. Things like that. That bothered me. I said, man, is this like a stroke? So I said, I better call Melissa, let her know. So I start calling her, close up the shop, I put the dog in the truck, and start the truck up, get the air conditioner on. And I even considered at that moment, maybe I'll drive to get down there quicker, or I'll call the ambulance. Am I having a stroke? I start checking everything. Do I have any one-sided? Do I have any weird sensations? Can I talk? All these things. Thinking all that. Perfect. No problem. Just this vision thing. So I get in the truck and I look down to call Melissa from the truck on the radio where the map is at, and her name is like split. And I realize at that time I can't even see through the windshield. Everything above the radio was just like a blur. It wasn't dark, but it was, you couldn't process the data, especially to the top left. I don't know if it affected other areas or not, honestly, but I know it affected that area. So basically, I'll see if I can get you guys a picture of this real quick. There's actually, let me find this. There's actually a, quick, sorry, I'm one tracking right now. There's actually a bunch of photos. Retinal migraine, ocular migraine, visual migraine is what it ultimately turned out apparently to be. Where are the images at? Yeah. See, it's really hard to find exactly a really close picture of what I can see. Now, this isn't too bad. This is a little busier. This is probably busier than what I see. I only see one stripe, but very colorful. And it's really a zigzag that's probably closer to white, but it has all these colors around it. It's really a beautiful thing. And so I kind of had the opposite. I had just one, and it was more over on the other side, and it was curved a little bit, so kind of the left field of view. And then distortion of vision would have been not really like what you see there, but yeah, maybe this right here could be kind of. It wasn't like it was blurry though. I can't really explain it. It was just like an area that wasn't processing, and it was more over towards the upper left part of the image, and the zigzags were much more defined, perfectly defined, rather than the way they look blurry on this photo here. It scared the heck out of me. I mean, you know, like, this to me seems like it could very easily be a stroke, for all I know. So I'm going to probably go to the hospital. I told her, come get me. So it's starting to, it's going to rain. It's starting to thunder in the distance. And I'm thinking, you know what? I got my tractor. The trailer's open. It's got a wood door on it, a wood ramp. So I'm just going to carefully get on the tractor and go park it inside and close up the barn and all that. So I got on the tractor. I kind of looked behind me and, yeah, I can do this. I'm just going to take it easy. I didn't even turn around. I just backed all the way back and then pulled into the barn. By the time that I got up off the tractor and closed the barn doors, completely gone. No more problems. Nothing. I mean, just perfectly normal. But I'm thinking, I don't want this to happen again, so let me go to the hospital. And now I burned up 5 minutes telling you that story. So, go to the hospital. They don't seem to really react to it in a big way at the front desk. I told them, I was having these various things going on. They did ask, do you have a headache? I said, well, I didn't, but, right now I actually am starting to get one. And they sent me out of the waiting room. No big deal. So I'm sitting there. Melissa went home, fed the dog, got some things, and came back. And about the time that she walked in is when they called me back. And immediately, once I get back in there, it didn't take very long at all before they were calling stroke alert. People were coming from all over the place. They rushed me back to CT. Got my CT scan. The initial scan did not show anything bad at all, which was great. But they wanted obviously to do a lot of other work. At the end of the day, what was wrong with me? At the end of the day, I was diagnosed by the neurologist as having a visual head migraine, or an ocular migraine, or whatever the different many terms are for it, which is kind of what I had concluded myself, especially when I read that electrolyte imbalances can contribute to it. Although it's not a great thing to experience, because they say that people that experience those are more likely to have a stroke or a TIA. And that's what they thought at first. I didn't have a stroke, I had a TIA. But after doing a detailed contrast CT, lots of blood work, looking at what was going on in my numbers, my blood sugar was like 70 or 72. They said it was 2 points below the minimum. So, Carnivoire did not give me a stroke. It wasn't cholesterol floating around in my blood that plugged up my brain. I had a ocular or visual migraine that was most likely triggered by the imbalances and exertion and heat and dehydration. So, given my 24 hours of being poked and IV'd up and blood drawn, and the bats would fly in at 4 in the morning and get more blood, I have decided that I'm going to have to take a short pause on full carnivore because I'm having a problem keeping up with electrolytes, with fluid intake. I'm just not good at it. I mean, it's not the fault of the diet. Also, I'm 2/3 of the way to my goal in weight, and I have managed to get rid of much of my physical pain at this moment. And I want to start seeing what triggers it. So I've already had one trigger, like I said, with that little apple pie cheat. I'm not surprised one bit. I have had other experiments with sugar, and I have not had any flares triggered directly by sugar. I had a Gatorade tonight. Now, let me before this video gets long, I want to get to the real point of this. I got to tell you, this morning I was very agitated because they, obviously with their precautions, they went on the protocol of stroke, baby aspirin, heart healthy diet. Let me tell you about heart healthy diet in a minute. That when they bring me anything, no salt, I'll get into the butter in a second. So last night they bring me this wonderful meal, and I'm going to tell you, it was damn good. I was hungry and it was damn good. It was poultry soup. This, I believe, was tomato based. I'm not a big fan I love spaghetti sauce, pizza sauce, ketchup, salsa. I don't like a tomato soup at all. But I was hungry, and I actually did spoon down about 2/3 of this. Mashed potatoes and gravy. Oh. When you've been on carnivore for a month and you get to have mashed potatoes, and they were probably instant for all I know. Whatever the hell it was so unbelievably good. Oh man. Oh, it was good. And those carrots were very good. Now, in my research, the foods they gave me were high in electrolytes. So it's clear that last night they knew I was low in electrolytes. So I had the tea. I had all this. I enjoyed it. It was very good. Very, very good. But it's heart healthy, obviously. And no salt, no fat, low fat, whatever. Carbs. It's all about the carbs. But that's okay. I'm good with that. Breakfast comes this morning. And this morning I was mad. And this is what pissed me off more than anything else. So, unfortunately, I didn't get a good picture to read the ingredients very well. But you know what this is. It's vegan, smart balanced buttery spread. You know this is straight veggie oil and everything you don't want. But look at this blueberry. Now, I was in the hospital when I was 7 years old. And I can tell you they wouldn't have ever dreamed of bringing you out a prepackaged blueberry muffin. They made those bad boys back then. And in the 70s, it was out of real flour and real sugar and real blueberries. This is what they brought me out as one of my breakfast items. Sugar with enriched bleached flour, soybean oil, modified cornstarch, dextrose, sugar without flavor. I mean, this is like death in a bag. So this nursing assistant guy came in after they brought this utter bullshit to me. And he asked me if everything was okay. And I said, no, sir. I said, you guys are trying to kill me. He's like, what are you talking about? I said, you're bringing me this shit? Skim milk, fake blueberry muffins, and buttery spread. And I took that blueberry muffin and I chucked it in the trash can. And I grabbed that Smart Balance and I chucked that in the trash can. I said, this isn't going to go to anybody else. I'm not going to let anybody eat this junk. And he kind of chuckled, And I could tell that he didn't think that it was any better than I thought it was. Look at these beautiful, luscious egg-like substances. which had no salt and a weird flavor. I assumed they were some form of egg beaters, which I'm actually curious what egg beaters really consist of. I can tell you this, they're heart healthy. Right on the TV screen it said I had an AHA heart healthy diet. So I took a couple of bites of these eggs, and it was like going to a shitey, I'm trying not to use bad words, I don't know. I'm not monetized, but it was like going to a really crappy restaurant, one of these corporate chains with their fake eggs that are already pre-made into egg beaters. That's pretty much what it was like. And I said, you know what? I told Melissa at that point, I said, I'm beginning to get upset now because I'm not going to eat their damn diet, their heart healthy diet. I'm not doing it. If I was stroked out and they could show me, all right, your brain got plugged up by whatever in your arteries and fat and other things, damn right, I'm going to eat your damn vegetables. But I am not eating this crap because you want to treat me as if, I've got something going on when you don't even know. And when that guy came in this morning and told me what was going on, and he said, there's nothing. I said, this is awesome. I got to put this on YouTube. So we're at the 20-minute mark already. I'm curious what egg beaters. Real egg beaters are primarily egg whites. Now, how do they get it yellow? Color. Natural flavor. Oh, that's a good word. Natural flavor. Oh, my goodness, God. That's your egg beaters right there. Yeah. I don't know what were in those egg beaters, but I can tell you it wasn't just egg whites. But yeah, that's what they gave me, and I'm like, I get it. They're still gonna do the straight American diet, But he said, we're gonna release you. Game on, man. So I'm good now. I'm good. Anyway, that's basically what's going on. I did have another episode of the visual migraine tonight. Working on a night vision camera install on the boat. And by the way, pretty cool technology, I gotta say. This is pitch black outside. So it's amazing. Having an issue with this particular camera, and maybe going a different route, but light gathering, phenomenal. Pretty cool stuff. So I was out there testing out that, and it was very hot in the boat and no airflow. I mean, it's just, that boat is, being a pilot house, it's hot inside if you don't have the air on. So I was down in there doing some wiring, and I started sweating, and then after I was out there about 15 or 20 minutes doing that and going up and down, moving the camera, going back down in there and looking at the screen, and I started having it again. So I realized that after I was in the hospital this morning, I had a coffee. I didn't drink any water. I had one tea with lunch, and I had about 2/3 of a can of soda, diet Zevia soda for you purists out there. And I didn't finish that. I decided I'm going to go lay down, so I laid down. So I'm just not getting enough fluids. And I'm trying, but I'm really going to have to work on that. So final conclusion of the story is that I'm going to have to step away from full carnivore for a few days, get myself back in order. I need to get my blood sugar up. I need to get my electrolytes up. And the easiest way to do that is to say, well, the way I was eating before, I didn't have this problem. So I'm going to go back to a couple of days celebrating my birthday. I'm going to eat much more like I did before, but very carefully avoiding places and foods that have the crap oils in them. So, hey, John, basically, I need the variety. So what I'm doing is I'm adding in veggies. I'm going to let myself have some breads. I'm going to let myself have some sugars and just try to get my body a little bit back where it was before I started this diet. But we're going to expand our diet anyway beyond carnivore. That's kind of my plan once I get to a point where I'm happy. 2/3 of the way on a weight loss plan, I am substantially pain-free. So I'll stay as carnivore as I have to stay pain-free. but I'm also going to back off of it as much as I can, um, to have a little variety, to stay where I'm not having these issues I'm having now, which really kind of suck. I mean, when this happened earlier, I can't even come inside and watch YouTube. I can't read. The videos are all like messed up looking. So I don't want to be that way. I can tell you that much. And if that means I can't do straight carnivore because I can't seem to get the supplements that I need, then I'm just not going to be able to do it. But I really think it's more of an adjustment, both just a physiological adjustment and a mental adjustment to stay on top of fluids, to stay on top of the supplementing of the electrolytes. But anyway, I'm not hiding anything here. You know, if I have a bad day on carnivore, I'm going to put it out there. But I'm mainly just hoping to help people that are starting this diet and learning like I am, making mistakes, and grow from those, and hopefully, stay more pain free. It's been nice. A lot of things going on. Anyway, I'm going to shut this down. Hey, John, sorry about that. I didn't have the chat window open. Yeah. YouTube, I think the whole world is coming around to grasping what's been going on. And in YouTube's defense, I don't think it's so much the YouTube as it is the feds coming in and saying, putting pressure on them. Don't let this be said. Don't let that be said. I mean, what are you going to do? I mean, I can tell you right now, if a jacket knocks on my door tonight and says, "Don't you tell him about carnivore again," I'm not going to go to jail or prison or get shot to do it. I'm sorry. I'm just going to stop making videos. So if I ran YouTube and I had pressure, I get it. I don't like it. I think that you should be able to say what you need to say, and people can take it how they need, and life goes on like it used to be. But that's another story. Man, I'm going to tell you, I feel for you on that blindness. Just having the visual distortion. Whew, it's something, man. You take so many things for granted in life, like being able to get up and go do whatever you want to do, versus being stuck in bed or stuck in a recliner. And even with my problems, we had these shark attacks here this week. A couple of people lost a limb. This girl is just like 15 or something, 16, lost part of her leg substantially, and lost a hand. And the rest of us are all out here with them. So it's just interesting. The older you get, you realize like things get taken away from you that you've had your whole life. How for granted we take all those things. So yeah, it's really strange to look at. And for me, it was like I couldn't read any video titles when I came back in tonight. They were just, I don't know. It's like kind of like a broken mirror image, I guess is a way of putting it. It was actually more circular for me tonight, whereas yesterday it was more of a crescent. So, but good seeing you, man. Yeah, it's I've been here too much. So, oh yeah. I actually was in the first part of the video I was talking about. Let's see if I can find it. I just got it running. It's been down 11 months, and I literally just got it running and drove it home this week. And I'm thinking carnivore for that, because with the exception of a few weeks after July, when I was doing all the retaining wall work and the deck work, which, the whole summer went by, I couldn't do anything. The whole spring went by, I couldn't do anything. And I had to build this wall because I was having washouts. So I built the wall while I felt good, and then when things went to crap, I haven't done anything at all. Just, minimal. But yeah, I was really happy to get that car running, and we took it out to eat. And I had a cheat meal on my diet. At this little place, I had a half of a fried apple pie, and back in pain I was for a couple of days. Bird nest. Yeah, I have a few videos up on the channel. Yeah, that's fine, man. I just do these random videos. I've got quite a few followers now on the Carnivore, and I'm just trying to give an honest experience of how things are going with it. Which, unfortunately, the last couple of days have been a little rough, but again, it's my fault. So I'm just gonna work on hydration as much as I can. It's my birthday today, so this weekend we're gonna go out and carefully cheat. I'm gonna get waffles in the morning. Now I'm gonna make them, and they're gonna be made unfortunately, out of GMO flour. But we're getting ready to. We're getting ready. Well, actually, I don't think we're gonna use almond flour tomorrow. I'll take that back. I'm gonna order some non-GMO flour. I really feel like most of my problems are related to the highly processed flours and corns and oils, and so hopefully the diet is going to be sustainable. Anyway, I guess I'm going to wind this thing down. I normally don't do it this late, but like I said, I've had a long day. And in case you don't know, I was in the hospital until this afternoon, so that's kind of what the video is about. Anyway, it's rewindable here in a bit once it processes, so I'll catch you later, John. Thanks for stopping in. See you guys a little bit later.